We're making pizza today on the Keveri H1. We're gonna do some fast grill mode. We're gonna try some pizza mode. We've got brisket pizzas, we've got pepperoni, we've got some smoked Gouda. It's rainy outside, it's Christmas time. Struggling my way through making pizza on the Keveri. We are back in my home kitchen for the last of the series with Keveri. This time we're making pizzas. We've shown you guys what else the Keveri can do, from cooking steaks to braising to barbecue. Now it's time to see if I can cook pizzas. I'm not a pizzaiolo, I'm not a pizza chef. I've done it a couple times before just in the comfort of my own home, but never live on the internet for people to see and judge. So feel free to drop comments below about how bad it looks or about how good it looks. We're gonna do some traditional, some non-traditional. We're gonna add a little bit of barbecue flair to it. We got some brisket from the restaurant. We got a bunch of different pies going today. It's pizza day at my house with Keveri. All right, I'm gonna bring a pizza dough together. This is one that I found online and it's been working out for me. It is going to be a mixture of AP flour, 00 flour, some olive oil, some salt, and a little bit of active dry yeast. Of course, water will be a large ingredient as well. We're gonna go with 300 grams each of AP and 00 flour. 00 flour, it's gonna make it nice and stretchy and strong. Another 300 grams. Into the flour, we are going to add our salt. Gonna go with 16 grams of kosher salt. Now I'm gonna put together our liquid portion of the recipe. It's gonna consist of some warm water, the olive oil, and the yeast. 400 milliliters of warm water. 8 grams extra virgin olive oil, and 4 grams of yeast. I'm gonna mix this into the water and oil to bloom. Let these come together and wait till the little kind of pieces of yeast disappear. And this mixture looks kind of cloudy. Meanwhile, I'm going to connect my dry ingredient flours and salt to the mixer and mix this up so I don't pour the yeast water directly onto the salt and end up killing some of the yeast. This mix nice and cloudy. We're gonna go pour it into the mixer. I'm gonna pour it on with it running on low. I'm gonna mix it for just a couple minutes, or maybe even 1 minute or less, till it looks like there's no dry flour left. And at this point, we're really just trying to hydrate that flour, bring the dough together. Then we're gonna let it rest and hydrate even more, start to form those gluten bonds. And then after it's fully hydrated and those bonds start to form, then we're gonna mix it, really strengthen the gluten. Okay, so it's almost there. No more dry flour left. So that's mixed enough for now. I'm gonna let it rest, let it relax. We're gonna get some sauce going, and then we're gonna come back and mix it later. Time to make some pizza sauce. We're gonna go pretty simple. Making a couple different pizzas today. We're only gonna do one pretty traditional pizza sauce. The barbecue pizza is gonna be barbecue sauce, so just going tomato all the way. These are San Marzano crushed tomatoes. I've got 1 can. All I'm going to do is toss a couple garlic cloves in there that are smashed. I'm going to throw a single basil stem leaf in there, season it with a little bit of salt and some olive oil. That's it. Couple cloves of garlic in the pot. I'm gonna do 1 sprig of basil, just kind of cut in half in there. Nice heavy pinch of salt and a little glug of olive oil. This is just gonna cook for 10-20 minutes, just till everything kind of comes together. I don't really want to reduce it. Just want to bring those flavors together, keep the sauce really simple. When we go to make the pizzas, I'm gonna take the garlic and the basil out. We're gonna fire this thing up to pizza mode. It is really hot, so we're gonna use a good amount of charcoal. This is a 10-pound bag. Gonna go in with about half of it. Nice lump charcoal, so we know it'll get up to a pretty high temperature. Pretty big pile just right in the center. Throw a couple fire starters underneath. Push this in. Close the bottom. Open the top. Let it go. It's gonna take probably 30 minutes for all the coals to be nice and hot. Then we're gonna close it and wait for it to come up to temperature. But right around the time when that happens, we should be ready to make some pizza. This has hydrated a little bit. We're starting to see the dough get a little softer and form some of the gluten. So we are going to mix it thoroughly now. Make sure that we're really developing the gluten, that the dough looks nice and smooth. And then we're going to bulk ferment it overnight in the refrigerator. Okay, plenty of gluten development here. Dough feels a little sticky, but that's all right. Everything's going to work itself out in the overnight bulk ferment. I'm gonna throw a little bit of bench flour just right on top, just because it feels a little sticky and I want it to be easier to work with. I'm gonna ferment this thing right in the mixing bowl. No need to dirty another one. But first, need to oil it a little bit. A little bit of extra virgin in there. Make sure the bowl is nice and oiled. Then we're gonna go back in with the dough. This is not quite gonna double in size, but this is also a 2 times batch of the recipe I'm using. The one that I did yesterday that we'll be working with today is a 4 times batch. So that dough will rise all the way up to the top of this bowl, into the fridge overnight, bulk ferment. Okay, nice and hot. Charcoal is looking nice and ashed over and white. With the door open, it's already reading like almost 450, so I'm gonna close it and see where exactly we wanna be. Adjust the side vent to about a 2 and the top vent to a 3. I'm gonna be aiming for one of 2 modes here. We're gonna look for either fast grill or the pizza mode. The fast grill is gonna be between 630 and 720, and then the pizza mode is gonna be between 730 and 840. I'm gonna kind of see which one works best for this dough. We have like 8 dough, so we're gonna make a bunch of pizzas, try to dial in the exact temperature that we're looking for pizza. All right, this pizza dough has been in the refrigerator overnight. It was a little sticky yesterday, but I put some flour onto it, and this has at least doubled. This morning I took it out of the refrigerator and I put it on the counter. It's now a little bit more closer to room temp. It's definitely not as stiff as it was, and it has risen a little bit more. I'm gonna portion it into dough balls that are between 225 to 250 grams each. A little bit of bench flour. Does not feel sticky at all. I think there's a lot of hydration absorption that went on, and feels really good actually. 229. And as I portion these, I'm going to kind of bowl them up. Okay, with the dough all portioned, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on top, cover it with some plastic wrap, and I'm going to let it rise and relax because we've worked the gluten. If we tried to stretch the dough right now, it would contract a lot. So we need to let the dough relax. We'll stretch it, the fire will be hot, we'll make pizzas, everybody will be happy. Let's talk about the kinds of pizza we're going to make today. The first one we're gonna do, just to see if I'm able to make a pizza, is going to be a margarita. We're gonna do the tomato sauce, we're gonna do some basil, we're gonna do a little bit of fresh mozzarella. We're also gonna do a pepperoni. So I've got some pepperoni, I've got some shredded mozzarella, and then the reason we're all here is to have the barbecue pizza. So from the restaurant today, I brought some barbecue sauce, beef barbecue sauce available online, some pickled onions, some brisket, and we're gonna do some smoked Gouda with that. And I'm really probably the most excited about that one. All right, let's see if I know how to do this. A little bit of bench flour down. I think I'm gonna start with this little one just to see if I can stretch the dough. See what it looks like, if I can even get it round. So it's got nice elasticity. Definitely not gonna be round, but I think that's okay. It's getting thin, which is what we want. So I'm gonna have to use these pizza screens. Gonna give them just a light dusting. Go on with some of our sauce. Ideally it's not still hot. I think it's okay. Gonna do some of this fresh mozz. Less is more with the toppings. Okay, we're a little bit above 700 degrees right now. I'm gonna open this up, put it in the top real quick, close, and it's only supposed to take 2 to 3 minutes. It smells like pizza. I think what I'm looking for is not necessarily a Neapolitan, it's not necessarily a New York style. I kind of want to go in between. I don't want a floppy crust. I don't want a huge, thin crust. I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I know I'll know when I eat it. I don't know. Okay, let's look. Oh, that looks pretty good. Huh? Kind of looks like a pizza. That's a nice looking pizza. Ooh, a little bit of browning. That looks great. We're in the pizza business. Not a bad looking pie. I think a couple scattered basil leaves would look nice. I'd eat that. Don't know if I'd pay for it. Looks good, smells good. I'm gonna wait to cut them till most of them are all done so we can line them all up. Antonio told me 2 to 3 minutes on pizza mode, maybe like 5 to 6 on fast grill. And I feel like that took between 4 and 6 minutes. So I think the look of our pizzas is gonna be more Neapolitan because I'm a sloppy pizza maker. And the taste is gonna be more New York. Okay, next pizza, pepperoni. My personal favorite, pepperoni jalapeno. Just kind of trying to let gravity do some work. Stretch the sides. Tell you what I'm not gonna do is pick the pizza dough up and throw it in the air. I'm not gonna do that. You're not gonna catch me doing that. Okay, this looks like a nice size pizza. We'll start with our sauce. It's cooled down a little bit now. Thick shred, Tillamook, mozzarella, not too much. Pepperoni. Let's check the temperature. Just above 700 degrees. We're gonna go in with the pizza. Pepperoni. Okay, thinking about the barbecue pizza. I got my brisket. I got my pickled onions. I've got my barbecue sauce. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is slice some of this brisket, and I kind of want to cut it into sizes about the size of a pepperoni. I think I kind of want to just do pieces like that. Okay, almost done stretching this dough. I think this has been the best looking dough I've stretched. Don't jinx it on the barbecue one. Okay, beef barbecue sauce. This stuff is pretty tangy, sweet, a little bit spicy, so I don't want to go crazy with it. Okay, got smoked Gouda first. Smoked Gouda because I didn't want the smokiness of the brisket to kind of get lost in a pizza. I want it to be a smoky pizza. And we'll go with some of our brisket pieces. Went with lean. I think I will do that. I'm gonna bake the pizza like this. I'm gonna go with cold pickled onions on afterward. Very good, here we go. Oh, yeah. It's a good looking pie. Look at that, huh? Pizza 2. Barbecue pizza, smoked Gouda barbecue sauce going in. We know we're going for 4 minutes, 45 seconds. You know what we should do is margarita with this extra brisket. Okay, brisket margarita pizza, let's go. Going on with some sauce. You know what else I'm gonna do? Just a little bit of this barbecue sauce on here. That way it's like barbecue-y, tomato-y sauce. Fresh mozz. Some brisket. Do a little bit of olive oil, and then we'll do basil when it comes out. That looks great. Sizzling cheese, sizzling brisket fat. This one gets pickled onions on top. I think that's all you need for that. That looks good. That looks like a real barbecue pizza too. This is our brisket margarita. This one will have gone for about $4.45. See how it looks. That's pretty perfect. Just a few little basil leaves here. That brisket just looks good too. Oh, God, it's gonna be a good pizza. That was the last pie. So this cooks pizzas. If for nothing else, it's a pretty good pizza cooker. I mean, I think we showed a lot of versatility over the course of these 4 videos, from the steak to the braising of the pork shank to the pulled pork, direct eat pulled pork, and now the pizzas. I'm pretty impressed. These pizzas are good. Quite an impressive spread here. I had no expectations on this. I thought I was going to, I was very nervous about today. Didn't think I was going to be able to make good looking or good tasting pizzas. I haven't tasted any of them yet. I think now's a good time to try that. Looks good. Undercarriage looks good. That's really good. The pepperoni, I think next time I want to try and find better pepperoni. Sauce was good too. I like that sauce. You can tell it has a little bit of olive oil in it. Barbecue pizza got to be next. I think this one looks the best. You got a burn end there. You got a nice fatty piece of brisket right there. Barbecue sauce, cheese, pickled onion. Nice bubble in there. Like those. Oh yeah. That just tastes like a barbecue sandwich. That's really good. Okay. Barbecue margarita pizza. That's it. That's that like combination of flavors I'm looking for. Smoky brisket. It's got the cheese and the sauce and the basil. That's really, really good. That's gonna do it for this pizza video and this entire fall Keveri series. We tried to demonstrate the versatility of this cooker, from steaks to braises to barbecue to pizza and everything in between. We can do a lot of different stuff on here. I am thoroughly impressed by this machine, by the design, by the look, by the performance. I would definitely pick one up if I was you guys. Have one in your backyard or your garage to roll out to your driveway like me. Thanks Antonio and the Keveri team for shipping one of these guys out here, for coming to cook with me, and for showing me all the ways you can cook on the Keveri H1.